The year was 1944, and the globe was at war. John, a young soldier, had recently been posted overseas, leaving his love, Elizabeth, behind. They'd been dating for 2 years and were madly in love. Every day, John and Elizabeth exchanged letters with each other, expressing their love and need for each other. John wrote about the terrible reality of war, while Elizabeth wrote about her life at home, the war news she heard, and her hopes for a future together. Years passed, and the conflict was finally over. After being discharged from the military, John came home to Elizabeth. He couldn't wait to see her and reclaim her in his arms. He went to her residence, only to discover that she was no longer a resident. He inquired and discovered that Elizabeth had married another guy while he was abroad. John was devastated. He had fantasized about the day he would see Elizabeth again, and now his hopes had been dashed. He didn't know what to do without her, but he knew he had to give it a shot. John went on with his life, but Elizabeth remained with him. He reflected on her every day, wondering what may have been. He met other ladies, but none could compete with Elizabeth. Many years later, while going through the park, John noticed a woman seated on a bench. He recognized it as Elizabeth as he came closer. When she looked up, she recognized him right away. They sat on the bench, catching up on old times and conversing. Elizabeth informed John about her life since he returned from the war, and he told her about her husband and children. They laughed and spoke about the past, and it was as if they had never been separated. As they parted ways, John knew he'd never forget Elizabeth, but he also knew he had to let her go. He had to do the same, because she had gone on with her life. He went away, knowing he'd lost his life's love, but glad for the time they'd spent together.